The present constitution, apart from its original sin, what we call the original sin, like that of Adam, of being a product of a military dictator through the promulgation of Decree number 24 of 1999. Apart from the fact that the Constitution is actually a schedule attached to a decree, which therefore told a lie about itself in its preamble by saying, we the people of Nigeria do hereby make and give to ourselves the following constitution. Apart from that original sin, the present constitution, no matter the amendments, cannot take us forward. Because one, it operates a unitary system of government, all the provisions, not a federal system of government. Two, it dispossesses the people of their economic, social, political, and cultural rights. Three, it is too heavy. It is too heavy on the side of wastages and leakages, which makes Nigeria today to use about 70 to 80% of our national resources to service recurrent expenditure and public debts, those leaving only 20 to 30% for capital expenditure. No nation can grow like that. We are not going to grow like that. So when you are talking about a constitution like this being amended, you are really pursuing shadows where you should pursue substance. What, for example, I ask you, are we doing with 109 senators and 360 House of Representative members? Do you know the Senate has over 45 committees. Each committee, Ruben Rufai and my sister there, is fully staffed with members, with employees. We have a system where one position has accretions up to 10. Those we have an SSA, Senior Special Assistant, after a special advisor, Senior Special Assistant, then Special Assistant, then Personal Assistant. Do you know how many ministries we are operating? Well over 40 ministries. Take, for example, the Ministry of Agriculture, which has up to 13 technical departments. 11 of them are strewn across the 36 states of Nigeria and FCTC. This ministry that got a lot of money allocated to it in the present budget has permanent secretaries, directors, particularly directors all over Nigeria. A Ministry of Agriculture that some weeks ago called for prayers. They call for prayers against hunger, against famine.
Okay, sir.
Do they operate even a fish pond?
Okay.
Do they operate one acre, one plot of land? Do they maintain?
Yes. Okay,
so
sir.
Those are the wastages we are talking about.
Those are certainly significant.
That this present constitution cannot solve.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, on a lighter note, I saw videos of you dancing this weekend. I didn't know you had such impeccable dance steps at your friend's event. But to the serious matters at hand.
Yes, some of my hobbies. I dance a lot. I love dancing and singing.
I think you and Rufai could actually do a dance off. But back to the Constitution. Now, some people are saying that I understand your position because you're saying let's throw the whole thing out, let's start again. But the problem with that is that we'll find ourselves in another couple of decades with a group of people who are going to say that the new constitution that was created was reflective of the elites that were in power at the time. And will now begin a system like what they have, I believe it's in France, where you see that every 2 decades or 3 decades or so, there's an entirely new constitution. It creates a lot of instability in the political space, and it's expensive. So my question to you is that, yes, idealistically and theoretically speaking, one would want to say, let's throw away the whole thing and let's start again. But practically speaking, is this not a precedent for us to start saying that when a new group comes along, they'll feel that this constitution didn't reflect their interests, and instead of doing the natural thing, which is to do the amendments and the referendums and so forth, they'll throw that out, and the process continues and continues, and it will turn into a jamboree, as some people are concerned about. Are you not worried about that precedent that is set by creating an entirely new constitution?
No, when we get it right, my dear sister, there will be no question of amending and amending or starting afresh. Let me tell you, the American Constitution came into being in 1787. Till date, it has only 27 amendments. And the whole Constitution is just about 7,591 words with 27 amendments. Do you know why? Because the Constitution was a deliberate product of the people, emanating from the people, enjoying their legitimacy. In 1787, some American confederates, under their Articles of Confederacy, decided to meet in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. They felt that their center was too weak, while the regions were too powerful. They decided to have a more perfect union. So between May 25, 1787 and September 17, they met in Philadelphia, where they agreed on certain inalienable articles of association, of faith. It was a conference or a convention presided over by Washington, who later became the first president of America, and after whom Washington, D.C. is named. You had great people like John Jay, Abraham Lincoln, people, Alexander Hamilton, Madison. Now, they decided that they needed a federal setup for their plurality. Nigeria, mind you, is a plural society that can only be governed by a constitution that is federalist. It was at that constitution that the convention that Americans agreed on a federal system of government, on a presidential system of government, on separation of powers among the 3 tiers of government, legislature, executive, and judiciary, which was modeled after a doctrine earlier propounded in 1748 by Baron de Montesquieu, a great French philosopher. 39 of the 50 confederates that attended that conference, that convention, signed the new constitution after it was subjected to a referendum of the people. So what am I saying? For a constitution to enjoy the legitimacy of the people and become autochthonous, homegrown, owned by the people, it must enjoy a referendum, as was done on 10th August 1963 by Midwesterners to excise themselves from Western region. It was done in Kenya, and in 1996 it was done in South Africa. It has been done in Bangladesh, Eritrea. It has been done in Iraq, in Iran. It has been done in Egypt, Tunisia. So the question, and many countries, even Brexit, even the UK, when they wanted to determine whether they are going to stay in the European Union or not, they did Brexit. The people must pick up through a yes or no. That is why the patriots which are beginning their conference tomorrow. And I'm a member, by God's grace, of that patriot, a group of accomplished Nigerians that serve as the conscience of the nation, the best of the best, comprising of elder statesmen and elder stateswomen, led by Chief Emeka Anyauku, GCON, former Secretary General of the Commonwealth of Nations, who at 91 is still struggling to give us a better Nigeria. A person who was Secretary General of 2.5 billion, 57 nation countries across the world. Before him, we had Professor Nwabueze, unarguably the most outstanding constitutional lawyer to have emerged from the soil of Africa. And before him, Chief F.R.A. Williams, Timidi Law, a man that was generously endowed in physique and in brain. We are meeting from tomorrow, and I can tell you that one of the things we are trying to push forward is to depart from this expensive, very wasteful presidential system of government that we took after America, and go back to the pre-January 15, 1966 parliamentary system of government that we operated, such as we have in the UK, in Canada, in Australia, in New Zealand, in Germany. Why? Because it is more aggregative. Quite the presidential system is majoritarian, winner takes all. But in a parliamentary system of government, it is the political party that goes around campaigning, not individuals spending billions. Of course, the next election is going to be about trillions. I can assure you, not billions. Political party goes about selling its program, its manifesto. And when they get to the center, at the center to form a parliament, it is the party with majority that forms the government. And in forming the government, the prime minister emerges from the party with majority. And all the ministers are again appointed from the parliamentarians themselves. So the whole cabinet, including the prime minister, are responsible to parliament. And once they pass a vote of no confidence, the prime minister goes away. Okay, and at the lower level, at the regional level, you will have premier. So we are thinking that the present six geopolitical zones should be made subnational groups that can give us a better federal system of government.
Okay, Dr. Ozekhome, you know me to be a very big realist. It would be the height of delusion to think that a rubber-stamped National Assembly will do a constitutional reform that will change from a presidential system that a lot of them have benefited for to a parliamentary system. It will be the height of delusion, not this National Assembly. They might decide to surprise me, but not this National Assembly. But I like to look for low-hanging fruits. How can we quickly happen electoral reforms? Because see, I keep touting this fear. If we don't have electoral reforms in 2027, what happened in 2023 will easily happen. How can we push that all those INEC guidelines that they said was not justiciable in the last election, after the election, we can make them laws? Quick wins on electoral reform. At least if we can push that before the next elections. Because I even doubt, we're already in 2025, half year. If they do the Rigma rule, push the bill for 2026, we might have the debacle like President Buhari, where he kept on saying they didn't put East properly and was, and he was turning us back and forth in 2019 to sign electoral reforms. So the viability of a president signing electoral reforms in an election he will participate in is very low already. How can we push for those electoral reforms? Let's start with that low-hanging fruit.
Well, I do not always believe in low-hanging fruits, Because low-hanging fruits many a time get rotten because they are low-hanging and they are cheap to get. I prefer to go the hard, narrow path that gives us what late Chief K. Umbadiwe calls national resurgimento, national rebirth. So to answer that question first, I will say for the National Assembly to enact a law, to pass an act of the National Assembly amending the present Electoral Act of 2022, it's not a big deal. They have all seen the problems we saw, beavers, electronic voting, and the rest that were the Supreme Court said were not reflected statutorily, that they were just more like mere words. What is difficult, if they are really representing the people and they want an electoral system that is as clean as a whistle, what is difficult in amending that? But Rufai, you know why I said I do not want to go? We are not trying to go for that low-hanging fruit. It's easier. You can sit down and pluck it. But you see, it was Albert Einstein, the father of relativity, a great physicist, who once told us that you do not solve a problem by using the same method by which the problem was created. His principle of relativity was what gave birth to the first atomic bomb that was used in destroying the twin cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki of Japan during the Second World War. Albert Einstein made that very clear. And Hippocrates, the father of medicine, whose Hippocratic oath is taken till date by aspiring medical doctors, he once told us that desperate diseases require desperate remedies. So if we have seen, Rufai, that the road we have been going is leading us to no destination, is leading us to poverty, to disintegration, to lack of communal harmony, to interreligious crisis, must we continue on that path to perdition? I say no. Don't forget, Rufai, that this is not our first constitutional attempt. The best constitution we have had so far was the 1963 constitution, which is why the patriots are clamoring that the product of the 1963 constitution, the 2014 National Conference, attended by 492 delegates from across Nigeria, that agreed on over 600 recommendations. Then the present work of the National Assembly, both the Senate and House of Representatives, will not go in vain. Then memorandum, interventions, civil society, confederating units, ethnic nationalities. When we put all this together, we can now set up something like a national referendum commission that can help to midwife a new constitution, which will be subjected to referendum of the people.
Okay.
And I tell you,
on that note,
the reason I'm looking that far into the future, is that we had the 2022 Clifford Constitution, the 1946 Arthur Richards Constitution, the 1951 McPherson Constitution, which started a little of federalism, and then the 1954 Literature Constitution that gave us full federalism at 3 regions. Then, before the 1960 Independence Constitution, 1963 Republican Constitution, and all the other constitutions of 1979, 1989, 1999, we have not got it right. Because we are looking at the issues superficially. Our structure is fundamentally flawed.
All right, on that note,
it cannot unite us. It cannot take us to El Dorado.